RUFAI has been in Lagos for many years and has also been in the media for many years, and all of us know what the rules are. We know that BRT lane is not meant to be passed through.
I will call the government. I will call the government. Nonsense.
Call the governor. As in, how can you say you will call the governor?
Let him call the governor.
When you are wrong, accept that you are wrong and be humble.
A few months ago, RUFAI got arrested while on the BRT lane. This is against the law in Lagos State, and this incident will later haunt him.
At least yesterday, RUFAI was seen threatening the police officers that he will call the governor on them. However, he has since received a lot of backlash from Nigerians, with some people saying he was abusing his access to the governor to intimidate the police officers. Now, there are various angles and various layers to this conversation. It's interesting because there's always a Nigerian factor of, do you know who I am? Do you know I can call the governor?
The journalist clashed with the police last year's August when he drove his private car on the BRT, or private vehicle on the BRT lane. A Lagos mobile court found him guilty of contravening Lagos State transport law and fined him 70,000 naira.
So yesterday we saw a video that surfaced that showed where he was saying, bloody bastard. But the real crux of this conversation for me is not about what happened or what didn't happen. It's the hypocrisy of how we are so quick to talking and condemning in our country. We are so vociferous in speaking against the government, what they do, how they are bad, forgetting that, and I always say, we the people, we are just as bad as the government we condemn.
We sit here and we preach. We need to begin to practice what we preach. I am wrong. I have to apologize for that. And Tope said something about ego.
Hussaini, that's RUFAI Hussaini, also claimed a policeman pointed a gun at him over the incident, despite saying he would pay a fine. I will yet to get the information, or the information never really trend, about the outcome of the police investigation on this matter. More reaction here. One banana says here that karma is a bee indeed. This guy days ago had a lengthy session on the radio on how many Nigerians feel entitled. Now, who is entitled? You go call governor because police actually do their work. That person here says that, honestly, I do not know the details of the incident that happened, but a person of RUFAI seemed to be threatening a police officer that he will call the governor. It's appalling. RUFAI is one to quickly criticize any wrongdoing by politicians or privileged people in society, and I'm sure he would have criticized if it were to be someone else that made those comments. Nobody is to be trusted in Nigeria. When RUFAI and his colleagues on Arise TV start to criticize government, police, and the politicians, you will think they too are saints. Well, we are the problems of Nigeria.
Let's just continue this way. Let me finish talking. Now you are interrupting me, Mr. Kiamo. Let's keep things civil, right?
I'm just trying to.
Mr. Kiamo, you see, I'm sure the world sees that you're the one interrupting me now. Let me finish my statement.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Now, concerning his opinion during the presidential and governorship election, RUFAI had constantly denied choosing a side when it comes to politics. He says he's got nothing to do with politics and he speaks objectively.
Please, I've got nothing to do with politics. I do my job here as a journalist and I speak objectively.
One thing you can't fault is this man's qualification when it comes to journalism, his versatility, and he's got a broad experience in journalism. According to his LinkedIn page, RUFAI has worked with JFM Radio, Warri, Unique FM, Elisha, Gold FM, Elisha, Ogun State Television Sports Analyst, Ogun State Radio, presenter, Inspiration FM 2012, and the list goes on. RUFAI Hussaini is also a writer.
We have a dire problem, but we don't even know we have a dire problem. Take, for instance, a report came out recently that says Nigerians are the 6th most miserable people in the world. So we've gone from being the happiest people in the world to the most miserable people in the world, and we don't even see anything wrong with it. So we're not having the conversations. Look at the Twitter sphere or the Facebook sphere or any other sphere on social media, the armchair critics all around. We're not having the veritable conversations. And that's why I keep writing. And I hope people read.
Well, some of us are doing that.
I hope people read.
Ignis, fire. Nigeria's journey through fire.
Yep.
Nigeria has journeyed through fire.
Yeah, it's still journeying through fire. It's still journeying through fire. It's been journeying through fire since the amalgamation happened.
As dangerous as RUFAI sounds, and as they describe him, is it in a good way or a bad way? Is he truly a hypocrite and a dirty journalist who only uses his position to support who he likes or who paid him? Where does his loyalty lies?
Your party had to divide their Afenifere after Payo Adebanjo endorsed Peter Obi. Then there was a going to Pa Fashion Roti at the back to seek his endorsement, and he gave it. So now we have, for the first time, Afenifere, two great Afenifere leaders endorsed two different people. And you say endorsements do not count a lot? Two questions, please, as we wrap up.
The first one was not a question, the first one was a comment. So that's why I was correcting you. You were saying the economy has failed, blah, blah, blah. That was not a question. So I would prefer that we move this discussion out of this forum, so you don't sit down there as a journalist. Move two of us as co-debaters to somewhere, and then we debate it, me and you. I was expecting that you were there to ask questions and not to debate with me. So next time, move this forum away from question-answer, move it to co-debater, because you are making statements, emphatic statements that I tell you I disagree with.
Now let's read some mixed reactions from the previous video that I posted about RUFAI. We've got someone here who says RUFAI is not a good journalist. He's too emotional. Another person here says RUFAI is a good journalist working for better Nigeria. RUFAI is an obedient. I love how Fayose served him hot breakfast. He is hardly fair in his analysis of issues. As far as I'm concerned, RUFAI judgment is sound. What is not good is bad. Let us all be honest. Politicians hate the truth and love people sucking up to them. But wait, let's go back to the comments about RUFAI being too emotional. Few weeks before RUFAI clash, with the police, he had announced the death of his father, his dad, through social media. Could this have been part of the reasons he went off after he was accosted or stopped by the police, even though he was wrong?
Let's imagine, indeed, maybe there was some issue that he couldn't figure out where the BRT lane was, and he entered it. And you're a TV personality, you're a presenter on television, you criticize the government, that this, that, and then they arrest you. And you're already angry that, listen, I'm going somewhere, I did not know it was a BRT lane, the other people that pass through, why are you bothering me, But there should be a way you convey that message to the police officer that knows you're doing it respectfully.
Yes.
Now, if you had even been arrested, and as a law-abiding citizen, agreed to pay your 70,000 naira fine, and go to the police, pay, and go, nobody will know about this thing. Mm-hmm. But by yourself for yourself, you recorded, put it on Twitter, and that's the other angle I want us to go into. Because every little thing for us is something we need to publicize.
Now, evil is when you know that you are wrong, but because you feel you have gotten to a level in that social media, you have a number of followers, you are doing a job that people know you, you can tweak it and then get people on your side against the other person. That is pure evil. But sometimes, honestly...
RUFAI has since then apologized.
As many of you know, in the last 2 days, I've been in the news for the wrong reasons. This has resulted in needless distractions for my friends, family, members of the public, and all my colleagues here on Arise News. I'd like to apologize to all parties over what transpired during the incident with the police when I was stopped for driving on a bus lane. I cannot and dare not lay claims to know it all. Lessons have been learned from this entire episode, and this has been a very humbling experience for me.
But people keep using this incident against him.
Yes, I can be recorded.
but nobody will ever say to you that I said they should go and rig an election. And I want to say to you, I've avoided touching on this area. When you are talking about Nigeria, let us start with the press. And let us start with your person. You recall the incident on the bus lane and you attack on the police. That shows that you, as a journalist, a public analyst, somebody who is supposed to live above board, is not equally living above board. And he that must come to equity must have clean hands. I read a lot and I listen to your comments. I feel, like I said, we need to sit back and correct a lot of things.
But you give me a right of rebuttal.
RUFAI is called the most dangerous man on Nigerian TV for a reason. Now, this political columnist, Oke Ndibe, described him as fearless. According to Oke, there's also his signature interview mode. There's a little doubt that he comes well prepared for encounters with the show's guest.
The failures of the APC, which are too numerous to mention, one of the longest strike in recent times, ASU strike, the Japa syndrome, the poor economy, the fact that as Minister of Labor, we've not had employment for the people, youth unemployment on the high, the fact that you'll be leaving one of the biggest debt burden behind. So when you were saying in 2015, everybody knew that Nigeria was headed for dire straits, people are even more skeptical about the future after this your government leaves because you've left so much debt behind, you've crippled the economy, you're trying to tax everybody, and you keep breaking the laws. You know what you're doing now? For the first time, you've signed in the budget, the president has signed in the budget, but he's not signed the finance bill. You are a lawyer. You know that's at variance with the laws on ground. He skipped that.
Many of them political heavyweight. His questions often strike at the heart of any matter. That's the focus of the program. However, he has particularly scourged Bola Ahmed Tinubu when the APC candidate appeared at Chatham House and took to distributing routine questions to members of his delegation. Oseni characterized the occasion as a shame.
I have a lot to say. Let's not deceive ourselves. What I saw at Chatham House was a joke. It felt like a scene from Ghanaian comedian Shatta Bundle. It's a big joke. Let's not deceive ourselves. We want a good country and want people to state it. Ayo, I get your point about delegation. What nonsensical delegation? When have you seen Rishi Sunak call people to come and answer questions for him when he's debating the opposition leader at the Prime Minister's question time? Out of the 16 hostings, or over 30 hostings they had, when did you see Rishi Sunak call another person to come and speak for him when he's supposed to address the people? It's time for us to call a spade in this country. That was a disgrace on Nigeria as a country. That a presidential candidate went to Chatham House where he's supposed to espouse his idea and he's calling people to answer questions that were asked from him. Can't you see the way that journalist had to ask him, sir, is this how you're going to be calling people to answer questions for you? Where you are supposed to be the one speaking yourself. He called Nasir El-Rufai to speak on security. Has Nasir El-Rufai been able to sort out this problem of insecurity in Kaduna State?
Kaduna State.
Eh?
It was a bad call.
Has he been able to sort out his problem of insecurity?
If there was an army general retired in that gathering, you
called somebody to come and speak for him as regards economy. Has the APC government not prevailed over an economy that has gone downward the drain? They promised over 27 million jobs. They can't give it. Third quarter 2020 now. We've not seen unemployment numbers. I dare the MBS to release statistics for unemployment numbers as we speak. I feel ashamed as a Nigerian. I've got nothing against any presidential candidate, but I am a Nigerian, and when a Nigerian presidential candidate should go and make us proud at a public gathering abroad, they should also remember that people like us are Nigerians. And anything they say about Nigerians overseas, it robs us on our image.
Well, RUFAI. Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution allows the Nigerian president to delegate authority.
because the powers of that executive branch is concentrated in the person of the president. But
now, his attack on APC especially made people question his very integrity as a person and where he stands. What do you think about this, my people? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The next one we've got here is about what the Deputy Governor of Lagos State said this morning, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat. What he said about MC Oluomo. He said that MC Oluomo, will be made to face the law if he is found to have broken the law, with the statement he made in the video that went viral a day before the governorship election. MC Oluomo was captured in a video telling voters who would not cast their ballots for the ruling party, that's APC, to stay at home. He said, "Iya Chukudi, if you won't vote for us, sit down for your house." According to a report, a lot of people saw his comments as a call for violence against anyone, particularly the Igbos, who do not vote the APC during the state governorship election. After he was heavily criticized for his comments, Oluomo released a video where he said he was only joking, as Yachukwudi he referred to is his neighbor who he buys things from. In an interview with Channels TV this morning, the Deputy Governor Hamzat said MC Oluomo must face the law if there is evidence pointing to his culpability. Let's watch this.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, you have said that anybody who does that should be, should be made to pay for it. Are you thereby calling for the arrest of Mr. MC Oluomo?
Well, I'm not calling for arrest of anybody. I'm not a police officer. I'm not a prosecutor. People will look at the evidence. And, in case of MC Oluomo, he has come out to say that he was actually referring to one woman that is Mama Chinedu or something like that. So there is a video that shows that. And that woman said, well, he was talking to me, and that we've been friends, or he's been my customer for years, that he was talking to her. So, so I don't know. I don't know the facts. So, but people should examine the facts, and if in truth he has broken the law, of course he must pay for it. It's as simple as ABC. So it's not, but my point, which I want to make, because we all diminish.
Okay, guys, that is where I'm going to hold it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe. Until we see you next time, peace out.
That we as a people should do. Yes, the government is bad in a lot of ways. Yes, they have their own issues. But why are we so quick?
It's called crying wolf. That's like this.
Crying wolf. You think it's crying wolf?
It was crying wolf. He was wrong, and what he did was say, they took my car, they didn't talk to me, create a fear. They pointed a gun at me and took my car. So give half of the story, and half, that one.
And post it on social media, and then that goes viral.
Because you have that effect, you have that influence, people. He went on Twitter. And so Twitter was boiling. They don't catch RUFAI, police brutality. Those were the sensitivities that people played on.